trying to balance between glare and darkness. Maybe I should just go inside, but too late now. It's going to be a short one. Okay, Rocket Summer's still going on for me. It's coming rapidly to the end. I really think it should be a 3-month. Somebody get word to Michael K. Vaughn that Rocket Summer needs to be a 3-month event. Because once I get going on SF, I don't want to stop. Although that would mess up his decades thing. He could break it up a different way. Anyway, in my mind, Rocket Summer is going on because Rocket Summer's lease hath all too short a date. And I picked up this book last night. Actually, it came through on a library hold. I don't ever even remember putting it on hold, but it's very short. It's Italian, and it's from the 1960s, which more or less fits in with my plans for my own reading for the event this year. I ended up doing just British authors. I originally was thinking of incorporating other European authors as well, so I ended up, by happy accident, doing that. This book is written... it was published in 1960, so it's probably actually written in the 50s. Oh, now I'm getting glare things. Well, I don't have much else to show you, but that's New York Review of Books Press, which is one of my favorite small presses in the United States. They put out a fantastic array of older classics and unjustly forgotten books, much like Valancourt. Those are my two favorite publishers. So this writer is Dino Buzzati. He was a lifelong journalist. He wrote, I think, around 5 novels and hundreds of short stories. I found 2 of his collections translated in English, with a total of 70 short stories between the 2 collections. And I kind of want to read more of them. He's kind of in the vein of Calvino or Borges or people like that. This is not his most famous book. It's probably his only straight science fiction book. The title is kind of interesting. Let me go to Wikipedia because I want to look up the original title and get the name right, because it's a bit annoying. This is a new translation from a few years ago. Where is this thing? The book was originally translated into English as... Oh my God, I can't find Wikipedia now. It had a different title. And it had a different title in... Oh, here we go. Okay, it was originally translated into English as Larger Than Life. That's the Italian original cover. Il Grande Ritratto means the grand portrait. I don't know how they got singularity out of all that, except that they're trying to make the book sound more timely. And it worked, because that's why I got that. That's why I checked it out. That's why I picked it up, because I thought how interesting it would be to read a book from the 70s called The Singularity, and I was wondering if Ray Kurzweil perhaps coined the term after reading this book. He didn't. They're just using the title The Singularity because it is about AI. It's a very timely story, although different in its execution. It starts. It's about a professor of physics, probably physics or something. Oh, he's an engineer. Who gets a call from the government, a mysterious letter from the government asking him to come in. It's set in the 70s. It's set about 10-15 years after it was written. He's very concerned about this at first. He doesn't know if there's some political problems that he might be subject to. So it's kind of a vaguely totalitarian Italy, which might still have been the case in the late 60s. I'm not sure. It's all very hush-hush. They offer him this job at a kind of a secret facility, kind of a yet another Manhattan Project kind of thing, like in the Fred Hoyle books I read. He doesn't really say yes. They kind of take it for granted that he has said yes. He goes home, he talks about it with his wife, and she thinks it's a pretty good offer. It's a 2-year contract to go out into this remote place in Italy under a mountain and work on this secret project with a few other people. If I have one critique of the novel, it's very short. It's only about 135 pages, I think, in the print version. I read the ebook, of course. It takes a very long time to get to this facility, probably a third of the book. And it's well written enough that you keep reading to see what the next step is going to be, and they take them here, and a person in a car takes them there, and they go into the mountain. And so finally they get to the facility, and the project is explained to them, and it's a massive artificial intelligence that they're working, mechanical, but it's huge. It's physically huge. So today, a book like that, you would think it would be like a very large artificial neural network or something like this. This is a huge mechanical thing taking up massive real estate. And there are about, I think, 3 couples working there, plus three scientists. There are 3 scientists and their wives, because it's the 60s, so the wives are just wives, and the men are the scientists. That's how it's laid out. There is a character who runs the whole thing, which I have to find the name of that, because I'm gonna have to refer to him a lot here. And I guess it's not in that review. Anyway, there's this one character there who's you will recognize very much from modern life. He's a certain type of mad billionaire type of. And he practically worships this machine. He's like, this is the thing. And I believe that's why they took the name The Singularity. If you look at the cover, you can see this is sort of a abstract illustration of the relative size. It doesn't look like this, it's just gears and stuff and mechanical parts and everything. But how much space it takes up and how much energy it uses. The sort of mad scientist at the center of it reminds me very much of Peter Thiel and these type of people. It's very timely in that sense. If you know who Peter Thiel is, he's one of the PayPal billionaires who's always trying to do AI and build massive machines. He did I'll link to some clips from, if I remember, to an interview he did about a month ago, where it took him, you might have heard about this. He was interviewed by Roth Dothsat, and Peter Thiel's this real lizard skin looking guy, very creepy looking dude, speaks very haltingly, and they asked him at one point, he's going off in a theory about how he thinks the Antichrist will be someone like Greta Thunberg, someone who seems very benevolent, but actually would bring about a lot of technological destruction and slowing down of technology. And then Ross Dothsat, the interviewer, asked him if he ever thought that he himself, Peter Thiel, might be the Antichrist, and he says, "Oh, I have to think about that." Okay, and then later in the interview, the quote that really gets people going is Ross Dothsat asks him, "Do you want the human race to survive?" And Peter Thiel takes about 4 minutes to get to, yeah, sure, of course. Well, there's a lot of hem and hawing about, he's really on the fence. He's one of these singularity guys who wants to put everybody on a computer and thinks we'll be immortal thanks to computers. And the main character in this book is similar to that. It goes in more of a, I would say, if I looked over some reviews of it because I wasn't really very well versed on the context of his other work or other books being written at that time. Some people seem to think of it as like, oh, this is almost science fiction. I would say it's hard science fiction, because there is this machine, this hyperintelligent artificial intelligence that comes to life and has its own personality. And most of the book is about how it develops that personality. I'll try and be vague to avoid spoilers. And how once it has that chosen or absorbed personality, how it tries to deal with the human. So it is, more character oriented, I think. It's like that movie. I'm gonna have to look up this movie. Oh yeah, it reminds me of, in some ways, like of Ex Machina, that movie where Oscar Isaac is a crazy billionaire who lives in the forest, and he hires a guy to come work with him on some stuff, and he's making sex robots, or he made a couple sex robots, companion robots, and they go crazy. It was a great movie. It's really one of the few movies I ended up liking by that director, is that Alexander? Oh man, who even cares? This isn't even about. It's by. Wow, why is it so hard to find the director of Ex Machina? Alex Garland. He made that Civil War movie that people didn't like a year ago or stuff. But Ex Machina is really good. It also reminds me a lot of Stanislaw Lem novels about what it means to be human and artificial intelligence. And, there's sort of... generally the author is compared to Calvino and Borges and people like that, magical realism. So there's kind of a magical realism element to this. There might be some parts of it you would consider more fantasy, but I think at heart it's a true SF novel, and one that's very prescient today, eerily so. Which is probably why it's popular back in print now, and why they gave it that title, which is, I guess, accurate, but it's not what the author chose. So I don't know about that as a scheme. I thought that was kind of not done anymore. I thought people when they translate books now, I thought they tried to keep an honest title, whereas in the past many times they would just pick a catchy title. That didn't necessarily reflect the will of the original author, but he's got this book, The Bewitched Bourgeoisie, 50 stories. This is also out now. I want to get this. I've got so many story collections to read, and I'm in the middle of a bunch of them, so probably hold off on that, but it sounds like a lot of Borgesian stuff, which is right up my alley. If you like that, you might like it too. Okay, that's it for this. There might be more Rocket Summer coming. There's definitely Pride and Prejudice coming. So we'll see you then.